Hello, YouTube. So, there has been something on my mind lately. I have a situation, it's a personal situation that I feel is very relatable. And as you can see by the title of this live stream, what it's going to be about. It's going to be about the fact that, you know, I know mama's boys have always been around, and I, to some degree, have dated men who were close to their mothers and their parents. But now that I'm older and things are getting more serious, like more money is involved and more serious things are involved, I feel like it's more of a serious matter. And, I'm a fully grown woman and I'm dating a man who is fully grown, and he tells his parents everything. And I don't do that. Like, I have strict boundaries with my parents. And it's a lot of things that my parents want to know about my personal life that they're upset that I won't tell them. And I don't tell them for a reason. It's not their business. I'm grown. I don't have to tell them my business. And I think men think that they are triangulating their parents or their mothers against their wives and girlfriends. And I think they think that, you know, they can somehow control women by changing or manipulating other people's view of their wives or girlfriends instead of communicating a certain problem that they might have of their with their wives or girlfriends. I'm just going to say spouse. I think that's easier to say. With their spouse, partner, whatever. I think instead of communicating, they want their parents to communicate for them, even though they are adults. And that's just not realistic because they are forgetting that women are not children. Women are adults, and we aren't going to allow people to control us no matter how much you want to. Even we see in history, it hasn't worked. Trying to control women has never worked. So, I a part of me thought that I was going a little crazy when I was having this problem. I was like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just not that close to my parents as this guy that I'm dating. I'm going to be specific as him. Maybe I'm just not as close to my parents as he is, because I know he is very close to his parents. His parents are still married. My parents are married to different people. My parents were married, but now they're married to other people. So, of course, it's going to is going to be some differences there, but I thought I thought at first, okay, he's close to his family. He's close to his family. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. He has every right to be close to his family and share things with his family. And, you know, this is also his first relationship. He is older and he has never been in a relationship except for me. But I have vocalized boundaries and things that I'm not okay with, and he still continues to cross the boundaries. Recently, his parents helped him with something that cost a lot of money. They volunteered to help him. He didn't ask them. They volunteered, and he used the money for the intended purpose. Um, I would say it wasn't a necessity, but it was something that they wanted for him. Um, and he used a much, much, much less significant amount of money to do something for me that I needed help with. And I was very grateful, but I don't, and he told his parents about it, which I am very uncomfortable with. And I asked him not to do so because number one, it wasn't their money that he used. Number two, it was a quite expensive thing, but it wasn't the type of thing that was going to drain his bank account. And yeah, so that made me very uncomfortable to the point of me not wanting to be in a relationship with him at this point because I've expressed, the boundary with him before, but he's still crossing the boundary and it's very uncomfortable for me. And I I thought that I was the only not the only person, but I thought that I was weird because, I don't tell my parents my privacy and my personal business, especially my money matters. I don't tell them these things. And so at first I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm the weird one. And of course, I did what we all do. I went on Google and I went on other, platforms such as Quora and other things. And then I discovered that I don't think that am I don't think that it's out of the ordinary for two adult people. We're adults. We're not in our 20s, okay? So, and then this guy has expressed wanting marriage with me. I don't think that I will get married to him because I can't be in a marriage with someone who is so close to their parents to the point that I have to constantly say, okay, I don't want my business in your family, you know, I, you know, and to the point where, you know, I have ended the relationship before and went back to the relationship. And this problem is just, it keeps happening. So, like I said before, I thought that, maybe I'm just weird. Maybe other people do tell their parents everything, like, you know. So, so, um, I guess I want to make this video about just caution. I want to tell men, like, you need to learn how to respect the boundaries that your girlfriend or wife puts in the relationship, and you need to know when things are a private matter and when even your parents is none of their business. Because if this is a relationship that you want to be in, that's something that you need to take serious, because it might be all fun and games for you to go around talking about your girlfriend or your wife behind her back, but she's a person and she's probably not gonna like that. And like I said, if you value the relationship, you probably shouldn't do that, because she probably will leave you. Because like now I am really seriously considering just ending the relationship again, and cuz this is just something that I'm not going to allow to stress me out. That's why I'm really not stressed about it. Like like, I think in the past, I probably would have been a little bit more stressed about it, especially if I didn't speak up about how I feel, because I did end up speaking up about how I felt about the situation. I think in the past I probably would have been a little bit stressed out, but at this point I am not stressed at all because I've already put up the boundary. I've already stated how I felt. I've communicated, and whatever happens happens. It's not going to be any kind of surprise to him, you know. So, it just is what it is when it comes to that. But um I did find a couple of posts on Quora, and of course I found a lot of posts on Reddit, and I think I am going to read this one that I found on Reddit because I don't remember the specific one I found on Quora, and I don't feel like skimming through. I also don't think I'm going to read this whole entire. Oh, it's a short post. Okay. So it says, am I the a hole for asking my husband not to share everything with his parents? I, female, am planning to take the most important exam of my life so far in 6 months. There's the same exam next week, but I am not prepared for it. However, I will take it just to better prepare myself for the real one in 6 months. I specifically told my husband, male, not to tell his parents about my exam next week because I would fail anyway. It is more like a practice exercise for me, and I don't want them asking me questions about it. He agreed, but went and told his parents anyway and didn't even warn me. When I got mad and went to my sister's house to take a walk and calm down, he called me and told me not to come back tonight and to sleep at my sister's house because he's tired. He's tired of having to lie to his parents for me. We texted afterwards and he still insisted that I was at fault and that I put him in a difficult situation with his parents because I wanted him to keep my private life private. I only got upset because this isn't the first time he has done this. I explicitly told him not to share few things that concern only me with his parents yet, but he still told them. We've been married for 1 year and it feels like I am married to three people, him and his parents, instead of just him. We visit them frequently, but when we can't visit due to other commitments, they become upset with him, and we need to provide detailed justifications for our absence. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Am I the asshole? Okay. So I want to look. Okay. I liked this answer. This person says, not the a hole. I specifically told my husband M not to tell his parents, and he agreed, but went and told them anyway. And they said, this is very clear. He called me and told me not to come back and to sleep at my sister's. Okay. He's tired of having to lie to his parents for me. No, first of all, it's your home as well. More importantly, he's being dishonest here. He isn't being told to lie, he's being asked to keep his mouth shut about things that you don't want other people knowing. And insisted that I was at fault because I put him in a difficult situation with his parents. How? They only knew because he told them. When we can't visit due to other commitments, they become upset with him and we need to provide detailed justifications. This has got to stop if your marriage has any chance of surviving. And yeah. And I just liked a lot of these people's answers because number one, it really did validate me because like I said, I don't tell my parents everything going on in my personal business. Like I don't feel the need to tell my parents things. I am grown. I'm not in my 20s, okay? And it's just some things that I don't need to tell my parents. It doesn't involve them. They don't provide for me. His parents don't provide for him. He has a really great job, and his parents give him gifts, sometimes financial gifts or financial loans. He doesn't ask them for money. They offer it. Um but he doesn't need it, and he pays his own bills. So, yeah. This is just something that I was on my mind, you know, to bring up because it was on my mind to bring it up because, I knew that I was going to find some answers on the internet, but I didn't know I was going to find just gobs and gobs of answers. I didn't know this was such a big problem in so many women's relationships, that their boyfriends and husbands, spill their private information to their parents. I don't want people knowing my private business, period. Like, I don't want people telling their friends my private business, or, you know, their parents, because this guy that I'm seeing, like, he has the kind of parents where if he tells them something, they will fucking bring it up all the time. And, I just don't think this is going to work, unfortunately. And I guess another part of me wanting to make this video is I want to, warn other men, like, if you are in a relationship and you want the woman to respect you and you don't want her to see you as a kid, and you want her to be sexually attracted to you, because that's another thing. Like, I'm not sexually attracted to him because the situation is just like, it's giving me like, it's very much ruining any sexual attraction I would have for him at all. So, yeah, that's that. I was just very shocked at how big of a problem this is. And just like this other person says, I think this like really sums it up, because a part of me felt like I was asking him to lie to his parents for me. And that's another thing that this lady brought up in her post, that her husband said, and that this person right here who gave an answer said there's a difference between not telling someone and lying. Did they specifically ask if you had an exam in a week's time? Probably not. And also the guy who I'm seeing, he said that his dad always asks about me in this particular situation, that thing that he helped me with. I just don't see the reason to tell people stuff that doesn't involve them. Like, they live in a whole different state. Like, they live in a whole different time zone. They live so far away that it doesn't make any sense to tell them anything. Like, even if even if we did tell them, about my situation, like, telling them that he used his money to help me with the situation, I just don't see the fucking point. Like, we could have said, yeah, she's in a different situation now. Um, it's much better. She likes it. I mean, they could probably assume that he helped me financially with the situation, but I don't see the point in telling them, you know. So, yeah. and it's just very exhausting to me. And thank God I'm not married to this guy because I would have to divorce him. Like, So yeah, I think I'm gonna come back later with this same topic and read some of these posts. I'm just kind of tired right now, but I did want to get this video out. Ugh. And that's it. Goodbye.